Come and set me free. Come and set me free. Give me what I need. Come and set me free. Give me what I need. Come and set me free, 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 free. Come and set me free. Give me what I need.
What's happening, folks? We are here with the Crux Cup 2954 Luxury GP class. I'm Red Monster SC. We have Echo Bit, our what is your official title? Echo Bit, race coordinator,
Presiding officer of Enza Racing.
presiding officer. We've got Echo Bit there, and then on that far side, rocking the hat and the hair is Papa Juggernaut. Introduce yourself there.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Anzia Racing's wonderful, the luxurious Luxury GP class of Crux Cup 2954. It is wonderful to be here. How are you doing, Red?
I'm excited about this race today. First of all, the Crux Cup is a unique race. It's not just about time trials. This is a 1 hour long endurance race, and today we get to see some of the most expensive ships out there, the luxury ships, put through their paces, which I've got to admit, I don't envy the pilots here, but at the same time, it's going to be interesting to watch some of these really fancy ships scrape some paint.
Absolutely. The paint scraping is going to be fantastic. And I think the pilots that are piloting someone else's craft have the most stress of the day. I think that if it's their own ship, they're not going to mind crashing. But if you're racing somebody else's luxury liner, this is going to be an interesting morning for you.
This is definitely the day where you decide, hey, if it's a rental, I am getting that insurance package.
That's right. That's right. This is going to be great. But this is going to be the multi-ship. So we are going to have a really beautiful starting grid. Basically an hour of racing. This is going to be a lot of fun for this. We're going to be doing Gold Dust. So this is going to be the Gold Dust track running around Lorville. Flying around Tisa Spaceport, and I'm really excited to see some of these beautiful, especially the ones that very, very sadly, 890 I speak, that don't have paint. We get to watch them in their pale glory and all that they are. But for everybody else, hopefully, we're going to see some really nice color.
Yeah. And do you want to tell us a little bit about, you mentioned the Gold Dust track, but what about the Luxury GP? What makes this one special?
This is a great collaboration. So this is one of my favorite parts of Crux Cup because this is a collaboration between Anzia Racing and Yacht Club Bar Citizen. This is where you've got people who are volunteering their luxury liners to be flown, in most cases, by somebody else. And they're going to be putting that up. So you're going to be seeing 4 different types of ships. There's going to be the Origin 890 Jump, of course. We've got the 600i, the 400i, and then the odd outlier, the RSI Constellation Phoenix, which I think has an advantage because it's not weighed down by a hot tub. Just saying.
Yeah, you know, the water there makes it just a little bit slower, and I'm sure that was all behind Chris Roberts' plan.
Absolutely, right. Yeah.
And yeah, you mentioned this is going to be a multi-ship endurance race. We are going to see all 4 ship types racing at the same time together. And yeah, we're going to be around Lorville, the city in Hurston, in the Stanton system, at the Gold Dust Community Racetrack, brought by Echo Bit, the presiding officer of Anzia Racing. That I think it's going to be a fantastic day. The fueling and pit stops are going to be one critical piece that we'll see maybe some success, maybe some failures. We may see some pilots in previous Crux Cups. We've seen pilots push it and try to go the full hour. Now we'll need to keep an eye on that. Who's able to get those refuelings done more efficiently? Who decides to push it, and maybe gambles and loses. So
I think it's going to be very true, and we're going to see a lot of this. There is going to be some fascinating moves happening inside the pit. The pit can often be where you win or lose a race, and I think that it's going to depend on how quickly this happens, when you decide to do it. We're going to see some really smart, hopefully, decisions from our racers today, because they have some very big tanks that they've got to put this hydrogen into. So it's going to be an exciting time, and we are very excited to have Altama Energy as our refueling pit crew. So this is going to be a good time.
Yeah, and speaking of the pit crew, we have Sigillian and Bling from the Altama Energy. We also have La Federation de Camelot, the Nova pit crew from our refueling. So Sigillian and Bling representing there. Astrono Wolf and Incognito from the Nova pit crew, and LFK Elvavan from La Federation Camelot.
That's right. Right. So, and the great thing about this is that the volunteers that work for this particular event, these people have tons of experience. They know what they're doing. They are dedicated to this craft. They are true industrialists inside Star Citizen. So we are very happy to have them here for Crux Cup 2954.
Absolutely. And not to be left out, we have some additional emergency medical services provided by Project Ostara. With Zollner providing the C8R. We have Chat Mello from La Federation to Camelot. Arakaij from Frontier Consolidated Rapid, FRC and Rapid. And Twidget TV from Northfield Medical in the Cuddly Red. There.
Right, yeah, the Cuddly Red, absolutely. So we're very excited. These are some excellent organizations that have volunteered their time as well. And the support, Echo had talked about this a little bit earlier, pre-broadcast, that this is the largest Crux Cup in the history of the event. We are super excited because these are going to be continuing to grow. And especially now that we're getting the replication layers and the server meshings, this is going to get even better. We're going to have 200, 300, 4 people in a particular session. So the future for this event and all of these organizations that make it possible is a bright one indeed.
Yeah, very exciting here. And Echo, how many members have supported this year's race? You brought this up just before our stream went live.
Yep, so in 2018, when Arena Commander was at its peak just before the lobbies break, and it was basically the only racing we could do because the PU was so bare bones, we had 290 players show up. It took us all day to run that tournament. We had to split it up into EU and NA tournament brackets, but we got through it. This year, we have 320 players supporting the Crux Cup in a persistent universe race across 4 races. So grateful to have everyone here. Very thankful to have all of your support. Everyone witnessing these deserving races and their achievements.
Yeah, big round of applause for everyone helping on the support crew. A lot of those unsung heroes that don't get to sit up in front and be the face of the race, but certainly provide some valuable services. Speaking of, we've got the salvage debris crews as well. That's with the introduction of salvage and a little bit more persistence, we are going to potentially see some debris that needs clearing up. Let's take a look at those.
Let's hope we don't. This is one of those roles where we are so thankful to have them as volunteers, but we hope they don't get used. Then there are some race fans who hope that they are busy all morning long. We certainly want to thank our volunteer salvage debris crews, Delta Blue Aerospace, so many syllables, Checked Leak 1, Crystal Keys, and Sergeant Griff. Thank you so much for what you're going to be doing today. White Lightning Solutions, we've got Hugs and Nugs, Nova Intergalactic, Ghosty 2626, and Nova Rift. And then we can move on to security. But like I said, I'm really hoping that the salvage crews aren't too busy today. We would love to see these giant luxury ships not rain champagne across the racetrack.
I would love just send me all that debris. Let's watch it happen.
Here we go. Yeah.
For our event security, we have the Ragtag Mercs, They're the Ragtag Mercs. They believe anyone, regardless of skill, time, or money, can be a mercenary. Blood for some, money for all.
Now, I've got to interrupt. I've got to interrupt here because for the Ragtag Mercs, when I saw that was the slogan, I thought, this is where I thought the sentence was going to go. We believe anyone, regardless of skill, time, or money, can be a victim. And I was like, no, wait, no. But they said mercenary, so good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them.
We also have Turbor Corporation, a multinational organization that unites people from several dozen countries around the world. By gathering and uniting the largest number of adult Russian-speaking players, you can find many new friends and one of the largest fleets to get the most out of Star Citizen.
Very true. And then we've also got Vanguard, which provided a wonderful quote. Mankind shares an innermost trait, the desire to explore, to be the first to enter the void in an unprecedented arena with the cosmos. That is why we are here. Love that.
And Nova Intergalactic, you want to take them?
Yeah, Nova, great organization. The future is in your hands, according to Nova Intergalactic. They offer you the possibility to do what you enjoy the most, from exploring the galaxy to fighting bad guys. All of this with the support and protection of an organization. And then our final is White Lightning Solutions. They handled the data brokering, the counter-espionage, and the networking. These are the geeks of Star Citizen, and we love them all.
Yeah, love to see it. All right. Event staff, we have a lot of supporting crew, so thank you everybody who has helped out there. Our current status, we have the party launched. They're getting into the server. I think we're waiting to assemble at the starting grid, so they are working through that process. We've got some cameras that will be passed through. Our camera operators. We actually have Oleg Lime from Turbo Corporation, who will provide primary camera number 1, cameras number 2, 3, and 4. We've got Radel Damonhart, Fedical, and I think we've got Prof Decoy actually running double duty with our race timer.
That's right. Noise Maze is also running double duty, and we are really hoping Prof Decoy becomes visible soon, but I still can't see Decoy, so hopefully somebody else can, but I cannot see Decoy, so we're waiting on that one. But we do thank all of our camera operators because this is what's going to provide the amazing visuals for the amazing ships on the amazing track that is today's event. So this is going to be a wonderful presentation that is all candy for the eyes. We love this. Yeah. But we want to thank all of the event staff that is going to be supporting us today because they play an integral part of the operation of today's event. So thank you very much to Southern Cross Alliance, of course, the Red Legion, my very own PJ Party, Frontier Consolidated, Turbo Corporation, Black Star, and Horizons Trading Port.
Yeah. Absolutely. Appreciate everyone that's been involved. I'm excited. I'm seeing some views of 890s running around Lorville right now. They're working on getting assembled. We're just a couple of minutes away from race start. They're running through the support profiles, starting the briefing from Noise Maze. So we'll hopefully see that and a couple support ships that are on their way over. So.
Absolutely. And we certainly want to, we've run through the staff, we've run through all the volunteers, we've talked about ourselves, we've mentioned Echo. Let's thank everybody who has shown up here live on Twitch today. Thank you so much to everybody who is hanging out in chat. You are going to be seeing some of the most beautiful races in all of Star Citizen. This is what is brought to you by Anzia Racing today, and we are so thankful that you're here to chat, to watch, to comment, to support, to do all the wonderful things that you're going to be doing in chat. Please continue. If you've got questions about the race, if you've got questions about the racers, you are welcome to drop them in chat. Red and I are going to do our best to answer them, but maybe somebody else will tackle that as well. But this is all for your entertainment, and we are so glad that you're here to be part of this today. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, and I want to give a quick shout out for the Yacht Club BC. This race would not be possible without the support and collaboration of the Yacht Club Bar Citizen, a weekly show that talks about all things Star Citizen and does it in style. Each week, the hosts and guests get you up to speed on what's been happening in the verse, cover the hottest topics, and answer questions from the community, all while trying not to spill their drinks. Please join us in following these amazing community hosts on Twitch, and we'll go ahead give a shout out to Yacht Club. If you guys have not seen their show on Wednesdays, it is fantastic. So
Yeah, they are a wonderful group of people. And one of the things, I've been fortunate enough to be a guest on Yacht Club previously. They impress me every single show, every single time, because their deep knowledge for the verse is only surpassed by their deep passion for Star Citizen. They are a great group of positive people, and they are part of the reason that I have become so much more involved in this game. I've never seen a game like this. I've only been playing for about 2 years. Not even. We're coming up on 2 years. But I have fallen in love with the community because of people like those who make Yacht Club possible. That is a show that does wonderful representation for all things Star Citizen. So thank you very much to Yacht Club. We are so glad that this event is done in partnership with you.
And their impact isn't just virtual,
Yacht Club.
through their live streams and through that community building, but in person, helping coordinate and organize Bar Citizen meetups across the globe. One of the main reasons why I've been so invested in the Star Citizen community myself is because I found a local Bar Citizen group almost, I want to say probably 6 years ago, that's helped keep me involved and engaged in the game and developing friendships in real life with those folks that are also supporters. So
yeah, the Bar Citizen community is fantastic, and that's global. Globally, it's a wonderful group of people who organize these events, and I'm fortunate down here in Southern California in the United States. We've got 3 really large groups that can put these events on, so I can travel for a distance of a couple hundred miles and always find a Bar Citizen, and it's a great way to connect with fellow flyers.
yeah, absolutely. So looks like we're getting I see a party of a lot of party markers out there on the track as they're getting prepared.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing that. I'm seeing, there we go. Yeah, we've got some beautiful views here of Lorville. So obviously this is coming together really nicely. Looks like the briefing is completed, I believe. Yep. Okay. So we're good
Should we
there.
give them an overview of the course?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Let's tackle
the
that.
And show
Gold
them
Dust
what all
track.
these luxury ships are racing today. Welcome to Gold Dust, a spaceship endurance racetrack set around Lorville City. The start and finish line of the track is located right next to the CBD arm of the Hurston Dynamics Tower at this rectangle building, with a giant holographic Geisen sign in the middle. Take a left out of the start line and go under the Hurston Dynamics Tower. Exit the Hurston Dynamics Tower on the right and head for the next holo checkpoint building at the edge of the city. The next checkpoint is the tallest building in the distance. At the next checkpoint, you are looking for the holo building among this group, that on the right. The next checkpoint is beyond and around this stack of buildings. This checkpoint is a sharp hairpin, so be careful and manage your G-forces. This completes the city circuit of Gold Dust at Lorville City. This track was made by Enza Racing for all Star Citizens. Race together by visiting enzaracing.com.
Welcome back. So that is the track that we're going to be racing, and let's talk about who we're going to see out on the track today. Starting off, we have Stormcleaver from the Bifrost Privateers flying the 400i by the name of Spearflinger. We also have Black Rise 1 with the NSS Jade Falcon, a 400i representing the Nova Corporation.
We've also got Kelsar, who is going to be part of Atlas Defense Industries, also flying a 400i. Will be known as La Papa Q. Love Kelsar, great person. Then we've got Rossix, part of the Southern Cross Alliance, also racing a 400i, going to be captaining the Bolenskine.
And XREFT with representing Avalon Wing organization, flying the Melesun. I hope I did not butcher that. The 400i, as well as Zorion from Turborg Corporation, flying a 400i by the name of 400i.
Right. You got to love it when they save time on the naming. They're just like, you know what? It is what it is, and we're just going to move on in life. Let's also talk about Data Machine, who is representing XGR, captaining a 400i with the Star Trek affiliated name, the NCC 72015. And we've also got Luigi 509 representing XGR, captaining a 400i known as Liberty Rise.
Right. Beyond that, we have Numinos flying a 400i representing the POIE organization, his ship by the name of Longshot. We also have Biaka, who actually has not been able to participate today due to some PC issues, but he is representing the Russian Stanton community, flying Figdij, a 400i.
Yeah, let's go with that one. I like that. I'm so glad that was the name that you ended up on, because if I had to read that, I was just going to go with representing a thing. Let's also talk about, we've got a team representing Frontier Consolidated. It is Tint and Loud Guns. They are flying an RSI Constellation Phoenix. Theirs also doesn't have a hot tub. And the name of their Phoenix is Crux Retreat. And then there is also representing Yacht Club, the official representing Yacht Club. It's Evolved ACC flying a Phoenix named F8C. The F-Series ships are getting a lot of attention this week.
They are, in fact. Next racer profiles, we're going to start to see those 890Js. Starting off with Maiden Ariana and Splen, representing the Yacht Club. The vessel name here is Maiden's Voyage, of course, tying to Maiden Ariana. We also have Salem Frost and Neojet representing Sire Racing, flying the Valhalla, an 890 jump.
And now the ones that, I don't know, do we need to bother talking about people representing Cloud Imperium Gamers? I don't know. We'll represent CIG a little bit, but this is going to be Gerbo and Noble 737 CIG. You're going to see them flying in an 890J called Zabian. And in this case, Noble is the captain of the ship, but Gerbo is the one doing the racing. So the stress is on Gerbo. And then we also have representing White Lightning Solutions. We've got Brooke Van and Stanislav Petrov. They're in an 890J nicknamed White Lightning 3. What happened to White Lightnings 1 and 2? We may never know.
And following up, we have Andy Horse representing Castalia, flying the 890 jump named Ghost Bones, with Renlos Malik and Semper Prime representing Star Prime organization in a 600i, moving on to that class, named the Irish Rover.
Sadly, we are not going to be seeing one of our representatives from Turborg Corporation. Calamity 1101 would have been flying a 600i nicknamed Snowmane, but unfortunately is not able to join us today. But Fedicol is. Fedicol is representing Turbor, also in a 600i, nicknamed Morana. And Fedicol is not only racing, but Fedicol is also going to be providing some of our camera views today. So this is going to be a very interesting day for Fed.
Yeah,
so this is going to be great.
Great views. We've even got his inputs overlaid on his video, and yeah, we've got our racers getting set up. This is of course live feed provided by Fedicol, showing
there we go
setup and the lead up into the event. You see that group of party members all getting ready. This is quite an event, quite a race that we're looking at today. So.
I do love, I got to say, one of the things that I love about race day is when you take a look at a view like that and you see how many people have come together for this and seeing all those blue names showing up against the darkness of the space. That is just, it's a beautiful visual, because this is what the Star Citizen community is about. This is where we all come together for a really good time in a very beautiful game. And I think just seeing it represented with something as simple as party markers, I think it's a wonderful representation of what events like this can bring to our community.
Yeah, and I feel like it's an amazing way to show how well connected these events are, and you know, the feeling of being a part of something this large. You know, the scale, and seeing the massive party markers there, knowing those are all either racers or support folks that are out helping make a day like this happen. Very exciting. So,
and this is where we talk about, a lot of the wonderful things about what makes Star Citizen unique is that there are so many ways for everybody to express what they're interested in Star Citizen. You don't have to be a racer to be part of this event. You may be somebody who loves pumping hydrogen into an engine, who the hell, whatever, whatever those interests are, it's all part of it. It's all represented in those blue party markers. It's all the people that are going to make this possible and entertain the crowds that are on Twitch right now. So we're very excited to see that stuff happening. Oh, here we go. We've got a beautiful lineup here.
Oh yeah.
All of these luxury craft that are probably going to be splatted somewhere on the ground eventually. I mean, flying successfully and doing a great job.
And
but this is a very different visual from what we just saw with those party markers, because now we're taking a look at what is going to be the backdrop. As we're still sitting in these nighttime hours, we're seeing the beautiful black and gold representations of the city of Lorville. Love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, there may be a little bit more champagne spilled than usual today with these luxury vehicles.
Absolutely. We're going to be seeing the salvage teams, hopefully not too busy, but we have a feeling they're going to be busy. Salvage teams are going to be out there. We're going to be seeing the vultures and the SRVs. Maybe. Oh, no vultures. No vultures. No vultures.
I think we've got SRVs that'll be hauling debris away. We've got our Starfarers pulling the refueling. And of course, the Pisces C8R, the Pisces Rescues, and the Cuddly Reds out there. Looks like they are, the grid has been set. They are just confirming lineups. And we may start to see the formation lap here briefly.
Ooh, is that Penumbra paint I'm looking at?
Yeah, that is.
Oh, I want that so much, so badly, and I can't have it. Sad for me. But this is one of the things that I love about Star Citizen is when we're taking a look at a ship lineup like this, we're seeing personalities expressed. We're seeing race teams with their colors. And this is just such a beautiful way to play, basically astronaut ship dress up. And just, the way that this gets represented. And for everybody that is currently watching us live, congratulations. You're going to see this happen in real time. And it is quite an event to see with all of the skill that's going to be put on to demonstration here today. This is going to be a heck of a lot of fun to get through, because all of these 400 eyes that we're currently staring at are going to be running alongside 890 jumps. They're going to be running along 600 eyes, my personal favorite. They're going to be running alongside RSI Constellation Phoenix ships. This is where you are going to see the most luxurious laps of the year.
Yeah, most luxurious laps, and maybe one or two spectators enjoying it from Lorville.
That is quite possible. Lorville does provide some beautiful scenery, and we have an amazing security team that is going to be protecting us from people who decide that they want to be more than spectators, and that is not going to be allowed. So you've got people like Ragtag Mercs, Tuber Corporation, Vanguard, Nova Intergalactic, and White Lightning Solutions. This is going to be a well-protected race.
Absolutely. And we're starting to see the first of that scorecard up on the top left. As you guys,
there it is.
As we progress through the race, you will see party members, ship crews there, represented with their class. Within each class, both the number of laps and the finish time for the most recent lap are going to be updated there. So within each class, getting not just the fastest lap times, but getting in with the most laps completed. That is the goal of this endurance race today.
Yeah. This beautiful event, I want to recognize a few others. We've mentioned Echo briefly, but we certainly want to thank our live stream manager. Thank you so much, Echo, for coordinating all of the chaos that is behind the scenes occurring right now. Also want to give special recognition to Ravnak, who is our Discord moderator, Noise Maze, who is acting as our race director, Commander Calabar, race timer number 1, Prof Decoy, race timer number 2. Of course, we talked about all of our camera operators. We've got checkpoint officers, Onadrem, and The Real. We do have an official safety ship coming in from Southern Cross Alliance. That is Indiff. We've got Commander Tenna as our QT officer. Zilius is our rejoin officer. And then this is, I was so impressed by this. We have event press. This is great. Mr. Rice Guy and Kalistar, thank you so much for what all of you are doing today.
Yeah. Look at that view top down of the Lorville areas. You see the racers, as well as the support folks that are getting in there to set up this grid. That is, what an angle.
That is fantastic. We've got Noise Maze flying off into the distance. We don't know where Noise Maze just went to, but Noise Maze was drifting off. I'm seeing, let's see who we got. We got Pee-wee 123, Metal Burner, onto, oh my gosh, look at all these names. This is fantastic. Yeah. We've got racers, we've got staff, oh, there's Prof Decoy down there. I'm seeing Prof Decoy. There's Zilius, there's our rejoin officer. This is great. Yeah. And don't forget, everybody, you can go ahead.
Oh, yeah, just this entire race is happening within the Lorville cityscape, the Gold Dust racetrack that we're going to see through some of those larger buildings with the keyhole pass-throughs, and of course right into the Tiza spaceport for refueling. So
that's right. That is going to be our pit stops. They're going to be dropping off right there. So this has got, let's see, we've got our 5 checkpoints here. And of course, as you said, everything starts off under the, or just before the Hurston Dynamics Tower. So that's going to be a long one. And the beautiful thing about this, and this is one of the things that I think optically is a great part of this race, is that we've got long straightaways. We are dealing with some very big ships that may not turn on a dime. We've got to be careful with that. But we've got some big, beautiful ships, and we've got long straightaways for some excellent video opportunities. So really looking forward to what this is going to look like once this race kicks off. And we are just about ready, I believe. I'm going to grab an update here.
Yeah.
Yep, grid setting and confirming. We are getting ready to go there. Got the scorecards up. This is great.
Echo Bit, can you give us a preview of what the first lap is going to look like for these racers?
Yeah, do you want me to run the Gold Dust track guide?
Yeah, if we've got time for it now.
Let's have a look at Gold Dust, the community racetrack around Lorville City. Welcome to Gold Dust, a spaceship endurance racetrack set around Lorville City. The start and finish line of the track is located right next to the CBD arm of the Hurston Dynamics Tower at this rectangle building, with a giant holographic Geisen sign in the middle. Take a left out of the start line and go under the Hurston Dynamics Tower. Exit the Hurston Dynamics Tower on the right and head for the next holo checkpoint building at the edge of the city. The next checkpoint is the tallest building in the distance. At the next checkpoint, you are looking for the hollow building among this group, that on the right. The next checkpoint is beyond and around this stack of buildings. This checkpoint is a sharp hairpin, so be careful and manage your G-forces. This completes the city circuit of Gold Dust at Lorville City. This track was made by Enza Racing for all Star citizens. Race together by visiting enzaracing.com.
All right, and they are just in the last stages of confirming the ship classes and preparing for that formation lap. Of course, with the huge amount of people here, just the amount of coordination and effort that gets involved, just getting people at the right positions to start. That's where our focus is right now. And so Papa Juggernaut, what's your experience with Crux Cup been so far?
It's been fantastic in that I got my first official training lesson on racing officially from Kelsar. Kelsar and I were hanging out in stream one day, and we were heading over to Loreville, and I had never raced anything. And Kelsar said, "Well, why don't we grab a razor and let's run you around the starting track?" I was like, "Oh, that'd be great." Every probably 15 to 17 seconds, I was consumed in a ball of flame. But it got me prepped for what is the beauty of racing around Loreville, and I got hooked on that. And then I was very, very fortunate. Just recently, I had an official training lap on the Gold Dust track from Echo. So
Nice.
I felt a little bougie, you know. I felt special. But Echo was fantastic, and this is up on my YouTube channel. I converted that training session because it was done live on a Twitch stream. I converted that into a training video that is now available on YouTube, because I'm not kidding when I tell you how many people DM'd me during the stream and after the stream saying, "Oh my God, I didn't know that. I didn't know that setting changes this." It was fantastic. But I've certainly watched Crux Cup as a viewer, and that's where I fell in love with it. It's just, it became that moment of, this is such a fun event, and again, the visuals, especially of Luxury, I'm really excited to see this come to life today.
Yeah, I will say there are some impressive racers out there, folks that I've watched put down record time trials, and the amount of speed these people put into these ships is insane. I go through and I try the same tracks myself, and granted, I'm not at their level necessarily, but man, there's speed, and then there's whatever those guys are doing, because it's well beyond. Now, this is a little bit of a different flavor because we are doing an endurance race, the 1 hour long, trying to get there. We've seen a lot of these teams in previous years for Crux Cup, and hopefully, you know, they'll be able to stick it out through the whole run. But of course, it's both up to the pilot of the ship. It's up to the other racers out there. There may be some collisions. There might be, you know, the dreaded server issues, or you're not going to curse it with that, but you know, obviously there are so many moving factors in an endurance race, in an alpha game, and I do see we're going to be starting that formation run in the next 2 minutes or so. So we go through, and of course, Frozen Gaming from Twitch chat. We're not going to curse it.
No, we're not cursing it. But I do love, I love this visual right here. I love these optics where we are staring at literally the biggest and most luxurious ship currently available in the verse, that beautiful 890J, and they're just sitting there chomping at the bit, waiting to go. Formation is going to start in a couple of minutes, so we're very excited to see that happen. But you know, we talked about this earlier, where we're going to have, I think there's going to be some races that are made or ended in the pits. I think that the refueling has got to happen quickly. I think that the crews are going to be having some, how quickly can you land? How quickly can you take off? What are you doing with your thrusters? You know, how are you boosting? You know, this is where the skill comes in. This is an endurance race. This is something that's going to take a significant amount of time, and people have got to be prepped for that. They've got to be ready to act when they need to act. And that's going to be one of the big, exciting challenges of today.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it. The turnaround time on those pit stops is going to be crucial. We're going to see a fuel capacity for these vehicles coming into play. Obviously, Hurston is a high gravity area, so you're fighting consistently there and consuming as much fuel as you can. It's going to be interesting to see who manages their boost more effectively, since that does consume more fuel. Do you try and go for a faster run, or do you be a little bit more conservative and try and stick it out for a little bit of a longer endurance stride?
Yeah, exactly. I think that that's going to be an important decision for race teams to be making today. It's going to be, we all know, everybody is aware that this is the long game. This is an endurance race. This is a lot of laps. This is what you've got to get through again and again and again and again. But the long game could mean different things to different teams. They're going to have to make those decisions independently in terms of when are we pitting, where are we boosting, just like you talked about. You know, that's what's going to potentially decide what place somebody is finishing in. And then you did mention briefly gravity. There are gravity wells here in Loreville for whatever reason. CIG has decided that these are fun things for us to deal with. But it becomes a heck of a challenge for these large ships. That was the first ship that I took, in fact, on the Gold Dust track was a 600i. love my 600i. It's such a beautiful ship. But I took the 600i, and there was a part where I literally could not get off the ground. It pulled me straight down. But I hadn't, I didn't have the skill that these racers have today. And they're going to be doing some really fascinating flying to try to avoid anything that may pull them into the center of the planet. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are just coming up very quickly for that formation lap, and some of these visuals we're seeing within the this is a Fetacall with our camera going with our camera operator 4. That just looks so many huge ships out there, just nestled among beasts. The whole 890 cruise. I'm excited to see these. I'm not too proud to admit I'm very excited to see a couple of 890s explode. And we'll see. Speaking of that, racers are allowed to rejoin, but you need to have a backup ship available from the same class. So getting out there with the 890 jump, maybe we're going to see some ships destroyed. That respawn timer is not inconsequential. So the teams who have gone through and prepared with a backup ship in order to do that, I think we're going to see that stand out.
Yeah, this is really where we can make some IRL comparisons. This is the F1 version of Star Citizen. This is the absolute top dollar. It costs a lot to run these races effectively because you do need backup ships, and whether you're buying them in-game or with a pledge, you're still investing into your fleet. So I think that, as I said earlier, we're going to have some people that are dealing with the pressure of piloting a rental. So what is that insurance going to look like? We're about to find out. So those kinds of things are going on. And then I do want to recognize again our representative from Black Star, Zilius, who is the rejoin officer. So if there is a crash, if there's a disconnect for whatever reason, we've got Zilius over there managing who's going and where they're going. So thank you very much, Zilius, for what you do.
Yeah, and all of that is going to be very, kind of behind the scenes. We don't have opportunities to show much within the broadcast, but having been a participant in previous races from Anzia and the amount of organization that goes into it, I am fully confident that we're going to have a very smooth event today. And we are getting confirmation they are starting that formation lap, so we're going to start to see some views of these ships as they have taken off and starting that loop around the track.
For those of you who are watching live, if you are keeping track of where these names are going, you're seeing that they're starting to disperse. They're moving where they need to go. That live view is great. Hey, we've got ourselves a Constellation Phoenix. In stock, I believe that is stock white paint. I think that is a stock Phoenix. Oh, wow.
I will say the Constellation is one of the ships that sold me on Star Citizen initially. I watched the ship shape where they reviewed prior to its release. I think it was the Constellation Andromeda.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, seeing a multi-crew ship of that scale and that fidelity, I said it. I know Sigelian's going to talk about that. The fidelity of these vehicles is what I think blows Star Citizen out of just completely a different category of space game.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I'm so glad you brought that up because the very first big ship that I ever had in Star Citizen, and I'm almost positive, I wish I could remember who exactly made it happen, but I'm pretty sure that people, just random strangers, were sending me AUEC. But eventually I realized as I was a new citizen and I didn't know what I was doing, but I realized that I suddenly had enough money to buy a big ship. My very first big ship was a Constellation Phoenix. So I got spoiled up front, and it was so much fun, and I loved that ship. I eventually lost it in a wipe, but yeah, when I first had that Connie Phoenix, it got me very posh very quickly, and I was hooked. Like you said, I got hooked on the game because of what I saw, what I experienced, what I could fly. And then I was fortunate enough to also partake in a few months later, but I was fortunate enough to join some of the Qantas Starlines lore tours. And the one that I did was a lore tour of Microtech in a Constellation Phoenix. So it was a wonderful flashback for me. So yeah, I've been hooked on the Phoenix almost since I started playing.
Yeah, and some great views there. We saw the 890 jumps going through one of the first gates. We see the top view. Here's the Hurston Dynamics building that we're going to see vehicles pass through that gate here in front of us, as well as the Hurston Dynamics building riding beneath that platform. You see that 890. The 890 is out in the distance. Oh man,
Here they come.
Coming from Oleg.
Oh, beautiful.
What a
Thank you,
treat of
Oleg,
a
for this
shot.
amazing shot. It really is. This is a treat of a shot. We are seeing the beauty of the city of Lorville. And these guys, oh man, they're flying into view with such grace.
And
it's a graceful flight.
You talk about some of the best times of day for each location. I feel like Lorville is most phenomenal at night. You get to see the gold lights of the city against that kind of dark industrial backdrop. It's quite a view, and pretty decent illumination within the cityscape, thanks to the new Lorville 2.0, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've got to give credit to, and if you know anybody by name, please feel free to recognize them, but the designers of Lorville 2.0, I was heartily impressed when I saw what was coming to the city, and when it finally went live, I was just blown away. Lorville was my first home. Lorville was my home for a long, long time. And to see Lorville make that transition, that beautiful growth of a city, I thought that was just such an impressive way to present some new opportunities in the verse. And now we have things like the Gold Dust track.
Yeah. And we are officially 3 minutes into the race, the green flag having been called, and we have our first right on cue data machine with the 400i with the current fastest lap.
3 minutes.
Yeah, we're seeing a 3 minute and 1 second. Let's keep that going. We should start to see those 400 eyes. I think the 890 is going to be a little interesting. We got Quelsar coming in with 3 minutes 19, Luigi 3 minutes 20, Black Rise 1 at 322, and Xreft at 325. All those 400 eyes proving the speed with that the smallest of the luxury ships.
Yeah. Do you find yourself finding much time to get into hitting a track just on your off time? What are you doing in terms of, for you, Red, what are you doing for the enjoyment of racing?
For me, it's more about learning the track and getting through and going through a couple of consistent, not really pushing the limits, but understanding where the turns are at, where they're coming up. Learning that track so that as you start to apply a little bit more speed, you can approach it with confidence, right? That the longer you spend respawning and trying again, and of course, now with the Arena Commander racing maps, significant cuts down on the learning cycles for each of those maps. So you can push it and without as much without as much of the cost of failure, explosions and such within the persistent universe. So.
Yeah, what I was taught. Oh, it's either making the next checkpoint. You've got a great 400i flying below. That's great.
We have our first Constellation Phoenix Loud Guns has put in a time of 4 minutes 28. So that's the first in the Phoenix, the Constellation class. We also have Antar Nias, Jack Zorian, Numinos, and Rossix, all with their 400 eyes. We had a 373, 341, 359, and 407. So some good times there, and the Phoenix lead with the 400i lead with Data Machine there.
Yeah, Data Machine is still in a very comfortable position right now. Kelsar pulling up second place, Luigi in third. So this is fantastic. I do want to talk about something very quickly, in that we all know that there are some big changes coming to the actual flight mechanics inside Star Citizen, and that's going to be with master modes. Echo, I know you are an expert on this. You have been tracking this. You've been looking at ship flights and how they're performing. Echo, do you want to go over what master modes is going to mean to us?
Yes, so Master Modes, I've tested it in 323, and I'm free to talk about that now. ETF are allowed to talk about the patch notes, they're allowed to talk about their experiences, so I had 4 hours to test 323, and I immediately jumped into Arena Commander and wanted to see what does the interceptor archetype mean and how does it apply to racing ships? And what I can tell you is that the racing ships are now the fastest ships of the game. And any ships that have low amounts of hard points are becoming the fastest ships in the game. So the Herald, it has 3 hard points. It sits at about the middle of the pack. But now the Saber Raven that has 2 hard points is much faster and is a proper interceptor and is faster than the Herald. And then that all follows the racing ships.
I would never thought I would hear that phrase. Anything, fill in the blank here, faster than the Herald. Okay.
We have our first 890 jumps crossing the checkpoint here. Andy Horse in the Ghost Bones 890 jump, and Noble 737 CIG in Zabian the 890 jump at 633 and 640. So getting the 890 jump crews in.
Yep.
And we'll keep an eye out for the additional racers there.
Yeah, Andy is still pulled ahead there for the 890s. The Phoenix still there with loud guns. And then, of course, Data Machine with that 400 just skipping ahead. I mean, Data is flying through this track.
Oh, absolutely.
And let's also give recognition to the fact that we haven't had anybody crash. These are talented, talented people.
Yeah, I was just looking for that. I'm thinking, okay, have we had any alerts about crashes, collisions, anything on the track that's going to be causing some type of interference? We do see NeoJet in the 890 jump Valhalla putting in a lap time, and Maiden Ariana in Maiden's Voyage at 7:49. So
that's right,
getting the additional 890 jumps there. These 400Is are just cruising.
They really are, and they're great to watch. And when I was first getting this training session that I had from Echo, there was another racing org that was actually running practice laps while she was teaching me this live on stream. And I just thought, I'm going to kill somebody. This is not the way this should be done. I need to go be in a safe space. Put me on the bunny slopes of racing, whatever it was. But I was so blown away by the talent of the racers because they were just flying past me, no interference whatsoever. Their times weren't affected. The skill level that we get to see on demonstration at events like today is really what, can help people realize that this is capable in this game. This is something you are able to do with what is being built by CIG. And I'm just so excited to see where this goes, especially with what Echo was just saying with master modes. We're going to be seeing some changes to this coming about and how people adjust to them.
Crash.
Whoa!
We see a 400i. We do see track hazard.
Someone's
lost thrusters. Oh no! So our first, you see that tumble there.
That is. Oh.
Hopefully they can recover without colliding into someone. Oh,
medical services are going to need some. There we go. Well,
there we go.
I thought we had a job for medical services, but nope, we've switched teams. We're going to salvage.
Free collision. We do have a couple of updates. Fetacall and Semper Prime, both with the 600i Explorers, submitting their times 8 minutes 38 seconds and 9 minutes 07. And I just want to come back up to the top here. Data Machine is on his 3rd lap. Quelsar, Luigi, and Jack Arkzorion, all with their 3rd laps completed. We're going to start seeing those on the 400Is.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if we have a report on who that was that lost their thrusters. But...
And we'd also like to find out if we can figure out who that was. Let's also see, do they have a replacement ship waiting in the wings? Hopefully we get a rejoin there. I would hate to see somebody lose it just because of some thruster issues.
We have a collision at checkpoint 4, and this is as we start getting in through the race. Obviously the collisions here are going to potentially mount up. The good news is that the gravity well here should help clear a lot of the debris out of the way. You see that Constellation Phoenix hiding behind the 890s, letting them get through the checkpoint first without risking a collision. But now on a straightaway is taking opportunity to play ahead.
Yeah, Noble is in chat. Noble 737 is actually talking about a desync issue potentially. We're going to see if that is if that's going to be cumbersome for these folks. Obviously that could be affecting different people in different ways. Data Machine has just posted a new fastest lap time, speeding up that time by almost 30 seconds. They're now at 2.5 minutes. Very, very impressive from Data Machine.
Seconds. Yeah, and you're going to start to see these racers get into their stride. We're at 48 minutes to go. Hopefully they'll be able to maintain this. And you see this Feta-Call with a 600i. That sharp turn.
Oh, that's nice. A wall. That's a wall. Oh, love those moments.
That's so tight to the corner.
It really is so tight to the corner. And that was something that Echo had taught me when we were first racing, is even the differences in elevation. Because again, when I was getting, my little training session, all the racers were flying well above me because they were trying to get as much, as little atmosphere as resistance as they could possibly find. And you're going to see a lot of our racers doing that today. Certainly whatever position they can get through these checkpoints is going to be vital, because they're going to want to make sure to avoid the collisions as best they can. But that elevation is going to matter, and they're going to try and pass as far up to the top as they can get.
Yeah, and we have Loud Guns submitting a third lap, now at 3 minutes 41 seconds as the fastest.
Yep. I see, this is one of those great straightaway moments that we're getting here on stream. Look at that little cluster of 890s right there.
And you're going to see the larger ships maybe form off into these pairs. They will group up together because there's very limited mobility. They are very difficult to maneuver and kind of put through their paces here. So I think you'll find them mostly neck and neck throughout this race. Now, we noticed the landing gear is down. I've known in the past that having landing gear down actually helps some with the hovering and gravity wells. EchoBit, can you provide some insight for us? Is this a strategy we should be practicing on our own?
It is a strategy in racing, and it's a strategy used by the couple pilots. There was a solution implemented into the game where when you go into decouple, you just fall out of the sky. But when you want to land, you don't particularly want to just smash into the ground. So a mode called Vector Lock mode was added into the game, and that gives you some resistance to gravity when you're in decoupled mode while the landing gear are deployed. But because these ships have so much mass, they just punch through the atmosphere and don't induce much drag, so you really don't lose much speed doing this at all.
Yeah, and an update from Loud Guns here. Loud Guns is submitting the times from first class. Tint is the one doing all the hard work for that Constellation Phoenix.
Fair enough. I do want to take a second to recognize we do have currently 3 racers that are sub 3 minutes on their time. We've got Data Machine, Kelsar, and Luigi 509. All of which were pulling sub 3 minute times. That is really, really impressive. All 3 are flying 400 eyes. But you've got NCC 72015 in first with Data Machine, Le Papa Q, of course, with Kelsar, and Liberty Rise being piloted by Luigi. So congratulations to those skills. It's going to be fascinating to see how they perform throughout the endurance that is going to be this race.
Yeah, and just looking through the 890 jumps currently, Noble CIG with the second lap, I believe, is leading that crew. Loud Guns and Tint leading up the Phoenix class. And of course, Data Machine leading up the 400i class.
Yep. Loud Guns, fastest lap time, 3 minutes 41 seconds. So really impressive to see such a big ship flying around that quickly. It's I still love that we get the restricted area for a few secs every time you fly through the top.
I was going to say that. Those zones, the hard armistice and that restricted area, I've seen myself be pulled back into the spaceport by violating that airspace a couple of times, and you're gonna want to watch out for that as a racer. Make sure you don't spend too much time in there, that you don't hit that floor. There's a hard limit in areas, so keeping an eye out. And we are gonna watch Fetacol just ease right through this turn. You ever feel like
he did it?
A little bit? Just oh man.
Oh, I trust me. When I was racing that first time, I felt like such an idiot because I kept moving my head like it helps the ship. You know, it's just so fascinating to watch these ships go through these very, very tight turns in these checkpoints, and then they get to hit these really beautiful long straightaways and really put their energy to use. So there we go. We've got a 600i there with a best in show paint from 2953. Really nice to the chroma flare.
Quellstar passing over Fetacol, and we have a star rise coming up. Stanton is now rising up on the horizon, taking that nighttime Lorville view, and we're gonna have some good sun for a bit. Noise Maze, we've lost a camera there, so we need to keep an eye out for that. And Data Machine on 6th lap. Let's see. Noble CIG with the 3rd lap completed.
And once again, I mean, let's give recognition to Data Machine. We've got another fastest lap time posted. Machine just seems to be bettering their performance each and every time. Now 2 minutes 36 seconds, 0.037. Really crushing this performance here.
Yeah, and we do have Oleg, one of our camera operators, is respawning. There was a collision with an 890, so we're gonna see if any of those 890s have need to make that respawn run.
Yeah, really nice view. We've got another overhead from Raydell, operating camera number 3, I believe it was. But you can see we've got plenty of staff up there. So for those that are wondering, up in the top left corner of your screen currently, what you're seeing are a lot of the support staff. They are on standby waiting for anything that may require their attention. Hopefully salvage isn't too busy today, but we're going to see what happens there. But you can see all of our racers. You've got Kelsar moving, Maiden Ariana moving, Numenos moving. I mean, there's some really great, just elegant motion from these ships. It's really fascinating to watch the luxury ships perform for things they were not designed to do. Let's also be clear about that. These were not designed to be racers. This is something that Anzia and Yacht Club have put together and said, you know what, let's put these things through their paces. And it's a great presentation for the Star Citizen community to do things in a way that we want to do them, even if it's a little off-label.
Yeah. And, you know, the luxury ships are fun to watch, fun to look at. I think it's going to be a great race, but also even more fun to see explode. We saw that with the 400i losing its thrusters, going into that death spiral. You know, there's some rich guy out there who's just
absolutely. And this is where, just remember, everybody, in the future, LTI could make a difference.
Yeah.
We've got where are we flying in now? I think we're looking at checkpoint 4.
Checkpoint 5 going to the start.
Oh, we're coming back to the start. Okay, so this is checkpoint 5 coming all the way back to the beginning here. So we're going to be seeing some lap times getting posted. We currently have, it looks like our last 400i is going to be completing. Yep, they're going to be moving up to lap number 6. And Data Machine just completed lap number 7. Still 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Jeez.
Yeah. We're about 20 minutes into the race. I think we're going to potentially start to see some folks looking at refueling, depending on capacity there. EchoBit, do we know about the fuel capacity that we can expect from these vehicles today?
Yep, so most of the luxury ships are pretty good on hydrogen tanks, as you would expect. RSI and Origin give you a generous capacity to tour the VAS and to take your passengers and your VIPs wherever they need to go, and that might be system-wide as well. As you can see, in Fedicol's point of view, he's only used a quarter of his hydrogen tank, so he's got a lot of time left in this race before he has to consider refueling. I would say we would see him refueling at the end. The 890Js will burn fuel a lot more because they're struggling with the atmosphere, so we should see them pit earlier. And the Phoenix will also pit pretty early too, about halfway through. Yeah, and the 400Is, I think they're actually the best. They might not have to pit at all if they're efficient and fast.
I remember being very impressed with the 400i fuel capacities. We've got Data Machine with a fastest lap of 2 minutes 36. Quellstar now putting on the 7th lap at 2 minutes 36 for his fastest. Luigi at 2 minutes 46. coming in third place on the 7th lap as well.
Yeah, all of our sub 3 minute lap time racers are very, very close to each other. And as you just said, Kelsar's most recent lap is also his fastest lap and only a fraction of a second away from the fastest lap of the entire race so far. So this is going to be a very tight race when it comes to first, second, and I think third place. I think this is going to get competitive.
Yeah, coming through that sunrise. Great look there. Appreciate that coming in from Fetacol. And we have Oleg back on the track with a couple of our other race cameras provided by Prof Decoy and Demon Heart.
Yes. Echo is very excited to have Oleg back. And I want to remind everybody, if you are watching this live in chat, please make sure you are representing your favorite racers and race teams. Throw their names out there. Make sure you're supporting them. We certainly know that there are a few Star Citizen pilots who also happen to watch live stream chats. So if you can motivate them by dropping their name in chat, you are welcome to do so. And we are going to, myself and Red, we are going to be treating them equally as best we can. But we certainly want to see all of these people do a fascinating run and make sure that this is going to... Wow, it's smoggy. What is it? Holy... Whew, who's got their COVID mask ready? Holy...
All right, we have a crash reported from the race director. No reports on who that is yet. But...
Don't know who, and hopefully they've got a respawn. We're going to see that coming in. We do have Data Machine who just completed lap number 8. Wow. And again, just
about a minute 45 behind is Quelsar.
Yeah.
So we'll see that that kick in.
Yeah, but still, I'm very impressed with Data Machine.
Shout out your favorite support crew, or
where do we go?
Event Security as well today. I can see Altama in chat. Lots of love to
here.
all the refuel, salvage, and EMS and Event Security. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Ghosty Elliott and Blingbot, thank you for that. Habanero Sauce, also with the security groups. Ace Nightmare calling out Altima. Ball bounces, yes. Go Maiden Ariana.
I told you we were going to try and be fair, but it may not happen.
All right.
We want to make sure that that all of these support teams are getting the recognition, because like everybody, these are volunteers. These are people who are putting up their time. They're not getting the glory of a checkered flag. They're getting the glory of keeping the race functioning, and we are so appreciative of what they're doing today for us, so that we can all be entertained by the skill that's on demonstration as it flies around the track, and the support crews are waiting for their roles to be needed.
Yeah. All right.
We've got Ragtag representation. Woo Ragtag coming in from TTG Raptor. Lots of cheering going on in chat. Keep it up, everybody. And yes, the camera crews are doing a fantastic job. Thank you, Fetacol. Thank you, Oleg. We saw Raydell in here. I'm trying to make sure we're covering everybody. There's a great view from Oleg right now.
Yeah, beautiful. Looking at the 890 as it gets passed up by the 400i. The scale of these ships, it's deceptive when looking at it from a distance, right? Looking at that 400i, seeing that comparison between the 400i and the 890 is just amazing.
Yeah, especially when it comes to size, and you think about how much mass is being moved around this track at any particular time. Look at this tight turn. I mean, this is a great demonstration. Okay, maybe tighter than I thought.
Wow, that was incredible.
Overshoot just a little bit, probably to keep that that velocity from crashing into the left side. Making these turns is rough, and you do see there's a little bit of paint scraped off of that 890. So maybe not the first turn they've taken a little too tight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're going to see some excellent recoveries like that, and that's going to keep the salvage crew hopefully less busy. But certainly that was a beautiful demonstration of how to correct when something doesn't go exactly the way you thought it would. And that's what the decisions of these pilots have to be, is what am I doing to survive these very, very tight, in some cases better than 90-degree turns? And you're not doing it in dead space. You're doing it with a building around you. You're doing it with a Hurston dynamic, probably slave labor built building wrapped around you here. So we gotta We got to make sure that people are staying safe out there, because what is around them may be what goes into them. Oh, look at the turning.
Checkpoint 3. Wow. Potential collision happening at checkpoint 3.
You're gonna do.
And this is a great track. Plenty of room. You've got a lot of vertical space that you can use maneuver around other racers. Seeing that 400i just kick through there. Beautiful look.
Nice boost right there. Picking up a lot of extra speed.
Mahi ring, isn't it, Red? We've gone from like long horizontal checkpoints, which are super dangerous because you can turn into them and then immediately slam into the beams of the horizon platforms. But now we've got huge vertical space, and it's a lot safer. Except for maybe the extra gravity that Morville City stand on. We're not sure what's up with that, but I'm sure they're just doing it in good spirits to make the race more fun.
And Data Machine putting in a new fastest lap. He's on his 10th lap. 2 minutes, 31 seconds. Fastest lap time put in there.
That's incredible. That is, it just shaved 5 seconds off their time. 5 seconds off the fastest lap time just got shaved off. This is getting more and more competitive and aggressive. I'm blown away by what I'm able to witness. There we go. We've got the Phoenix flying under the 890 as it makes a little tricord turn, perhaps, as they just cut under the Hertz dynamics.
Never seen an 890 jump move so fast.
And nor will you. This is why this race is so incredible to watch. This is why Anzia has partnered up with Yacht Club to put on this luxury GP class event, is because you're never going to see 890s do this outside of perhaps low flying. But this is where you get to see it structured. You get to see skill on display against other racers. And this is a one-of-a-kind event that you only get from Anzia Racing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Anzia Racing, Echo, could you tell us a little bit more about how this track came into existence? What is Anzia's tie to the Gold Dust? What is the backstory here?
Yeah, so when I design racetracks, I'm always looking for the largest, most obvious checkpoints in a city. So when it was Horizon and when that was released, I scouted for about 3 or 4 days, looking around all the different structures that we had available to us, and tried to link them all together. So for the Ahu Mahi Ring, that was the large industrial platforms. And, I tried lots of things with this Lawville city. I looked at these rectangle buildings. I'm like, well, maybe can they go through the letterbox hangars, or maybe should the track be letterbox hangars only, or should there be a trench involved? And a lot of my design decisions also come back to some safety regulations and what's safe for the racers and everyone, and the survival of your spaceman, which is something we're going to get in the future of Star Citizen. The death of a spaceman will come into the game, and your life will have meaning, and you'll want to protect it, and that should be the first thing in a race like this. A race as large as this needs a track to be as safe as possible. So my decision was to just go with these large checkpoints, and I found a way to link them all together, and that is how Gold Dust came together. I just decided I want the safest multiplayer racetrack for ships of this scale, any scale, smallest to largest.
I have to compliment Oleg. We just did a perpendicular flyover of an 890. That was a great view.
Yeah, I'm seeing the 600i there as well. Yeah. Comment, we did have a vehicle hit from behind that was undamaged. Some views on that 890 recently as well. You're seeing the paint scraped off. We do look like Data Machine has passed into lap number 11. He's officially 2 laps ahead. Zorion with the 400i, Numinos with the 400i are now laps number 9. Quellstar paused out at lap number 8. Overdue for a turn in here, so maybe Quellstar was one of those collisions, working on getting back out onto the track, going from number 2 there.
I think Kelsar has fallen victim to that. Kelsar has not posted a time since 2:38, so Kelsar must have been somebody that is battling potentially with a rejoin. So we're going to see how that goes. But we do now know, who do we have here? Jack Arc Zorion with a 400, and piloting long shot is Numinos, sitting at laps number 9. But again, Data Machine sitting at lap 11 with a brand new fastest time of 2:31. They get faster and faster, and the funny thing is, when I do the racing, I just get worse and worse. So it's a weird dichotomy that I'm observing here.
Yeah, and a couple of those large vessels as they put their way through these checkpoints.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Going opposing directions. It's beautiful. Now this is going to be a interesting turn here. We've got an 890 and a 600 very close to each other.
Very close. You will definitely trade some pain at those situations. So the 600i coming out a little bit faster on the turn, but I think the top speed for the 890 might be able to push it a little bit further. We have seen the 600i's with a bit slower lap. I'm looking in Morana with a 5-minute 18 for that 600i. Seems like it's the closest. Maiden Ariana with her 890 at 4 minutes 25, 4 minutes 1 second for Zabian on that lap there.
Yeah, now according to my numbers, we're looking at Noble 737 with the fastest 890. They are on lap 7 already. Maiden Ariana is still looking for lap 7, so that should be crossing the line soon. And then we've got, again, all the 400s clustered up top here with that Phoenix. Oh, no, I take it back. Loud Guns is sitting in there. So this is going to be interesting. Loud Guns is right there at the tail end of it.
Yeah. And Loud Guns, of course, last lap at 3 minutes 39, but fastest lap at 3 minutes 33. So just about a minute slower than the 400i's that were in the lead here.
Yep. We still see this cluster of the 600 and the 890. I'm not sure who we're looking at here, but this group has stayed fairly consistent for the last few seconds now. We've got Jambersome in chat, giving a shout out to Frontier Consolidated. Yep. Herbie, the legendary racer Herbie, is in chat saying, "I wish I had an 890. It looks fun." It is.
It does look fun. I'm tempted to get one and put it through the paces out here as well. I know there are some additional races that are going to happen on this Gold Dust track. We saw a preview there of one of my personal favorites, and not one you might consider a racer, but the Aegis Reclaimer.
Yeah, we did see that as part of the preview footage. We saw that as part of the promotional material here. That Reclaimer, when that thing is flying around, it's not often you see a gorilla fly. And now you get to see it for a long endurance race, and I think that's going to be a beautiful thing. Maybe a little awkward, but when that paint scratches, that's going to be a whole different kind of scratch. That is a big, beefy ship.
Oh, you see this procession of the 890s up ahead. Fantastic angles here as they make their way through the checkpoint, each one getting in through the keyhole. And of course, your support vehicles doing their best to stay out of the way. Oleg delivering fantastic angles of the action as it happens here at the Gold Dust racetrack in Lorville.
And it's so just to watch, the 400i's just zip right underneath the 890s and move around with such elegance. Yeah, I'm not sure if we just saw a spectator or if we just saw a support craft. But they were sitting real tight inside that turn there. That was an interesting position for that ship to be in.
Yeah, it could be one of the support vehicles. I know we've got checkpoint monitors, some of the support team and crew that are reporting times, reporting updates, and of course providing that feedback to the race director, who's keeping us updated on what's going on out there.
Yeah,
we've got a beautiful cluster of ships here in the daylight. Being able to see those 600i's, 890s, and the 400i's obviously cruising past.
Yeah, quick update on the laps. We're currently in lap 14. Data Machine has completed 13 of them. Wow, I didn't catch this when it happened, but ladies and gentlemen, Data Machine has just posted another fastest lap time, 2 minutes 29 seconds, shaving 2 more seconds off of this lap time. Fastest lap is also now with Zorion. Zorion posting 229.146, so fifth of a second faster. This is incredible racing.
And we have not seen a recent lap there from Quelsar, who was previously in second place with his 8th lap. Hopefully getting rejoined there. Data Machine, 2 minutes 29 seconds. 2 minutes 29 with Zorion. Zorion coming up about 2 laps behind Data Machine within the 400 eyes. Loud Guns and Tint with the Phoenix class. Most recent at looks like 3 minutes 39 seconds. And then beyond that, Zabian, the Noble CIG with 8 laps in the 890 jump. With, of course, Maiden Ariana and Splen coming in lap number 7, reporting that just a couple of seconds behind there.
Yep. I'm going to recognize some people in chat here. We've got Jordan in here from officially from Yacht Club. It's wonderful to see you. Herbie is in here. Ball Bounces, who owns an 890 and loves talking about the 890 flight that they are capable of. Ball does a lot of low flying for that. We've got AC3, who represents various racing orgs, including the racing division of my own industrial org, the Happy Haulers. AC3 races representing us occasionally. You will typically see him in the green outfits of the Happy Haulers. In fact, AC3, if you could, if you have an update on Kelsar, I'd love to get that from you. So welcome into all the racers that are here. Welcome into the org members that are here. You guys just keep supporting everybody that you are here to support. Throw their names out in chat and let's show them that they are loved. And oh, there's that Best in Show paint that just impresses me every time with that Chroma Flare metal. That is beautiful.
You know, it is a great looking skin. One of the reasons why I ended up getting into a 600i. I personally have avoided most of the Origin ships, but seeing that opportunity there and making a little bit of a fleet reshuffle in order to secure that way.
Nice. Yeah, I was really impressed with the Best in Show paints. I will say I was voting for the 890 to get a Best in Show paint. Unfortunately, it still lost. People refused to give that thing a paint, which is sad. Yeah, come on, people, vote correctly. Let's get some paints out there for the ships that don't have them. But the Best in Show paint for 2953 last year was really, really elegant. I was glad to put it on a Vulture. I got it on. I picked up a 600 during the event, so it was great. Love to see it.
We have an incident. XREFT with a 400i has crashed to desktop. Stanislav Petrov was impounded. So we've got our first confirmation of an impounded vehicle.
You called it. You were talking about the impound risk, and there it is. We finally saw it. So that's definitely something that people have to watch out for, is what's going to be happening and where you're located. Hopefully that's a quick recovery, though. If you guys have a backup ship, hopefully these racers can pull it together real quick and get back out onto the track. But Data Machine's still pulling out very, very far in advance, followed by Zorion, Numinos, Loud Guns, and then Stormcleaver is clearing out the top 5 in terms of lap completion.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some of you see the paint scraped there.
Oh yeah,
I wonder how much of that. I'm seeing Fedicall with some fantastic speed as he's making his way around. They're making their way around. And yeah, the checkpoint cameras, I think we've got great reporting there. We've got where
it is going to get tougher, though. This is, like you talked about, this is going to be the challenge of an endurance race. You're going to see ships that start to drop out. You're going to see, potentially if somebody had a backup ship, if that backup ship fails, you're going to see racers starting to dip out of this thing. And that's going to be a real disappointment to them and a lot of their fans.
Yeah, we just over 20 minutes left. We do have an update here. Data Machine on lap number 15. Zorion on lap number 12, Numinos on lap number 11, Loud Guns lap number 10, first up in that Phoenix class. Spearfinger, Stormcleaver, lap number 9, Quelsar with lap number 9 as well. He did update.
Quelsar's back.
Stormcleaver just finished lap 10. Quelsar reporting a recent lap. Luigi, who we have not seen since lap number 8, at 23 minutes in, so struggling on the rejoin there. And then, of course, coming up with the 890s, CIG leading with 9 laps, Maiden Ariana coming in with 8 laps. We should see them hopefully pretty close together. And continuing down, XREFT with 6 laps at the 35-minute mark, probably suffering a collision earlier on in stream with a crash to desktop. Not going to be fun recovering from that. Hopefully, they'll be able to respawn back in Lorville, get that vehicle out in short order.
Very tight turn. Beautiful. Yeah, that was great, coming right up against the edge.
We see here that hydrogen fuel looks just a little shy of halfway, so I don't think that 600i is going to need a refuel. And maybe the pit crew's not playing as much of a factor in today's race.
Oh, that was, hey, I got to give credit to Fedical. That is a great trailing camera view where you get to take a look at what's going on behind the ships. I think that's a unique perspective. You know, when we see these races, and whether it's an Anzia race or with other orgs, you see a lot of ahead views, you see a lot of overhead views, but sometimes taking a look at what's happening behind a ship can give some insights, because now you're looking at how closely they may be grouped together. You're taking a look at who's pursuing who and how they're coming through turns. So thank you, Fedical, for that really interesting camera view you just pulled.
Yeah.
Here's the impound area. Quick, get through it. Get through
it. The impound area as well. The boost bar, deciding how much boost to apply, letting it spin all the way back up, or just barely after it's off of cooldown. So we'll see that. And it does look like some boost happening at this point through those turns and out into a little bit of a straightaway.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those events, folks, and one of those Twitch live streams where you are not going to see that power triangle pushed up to the weapons or the shields. That is not our concern today. We are focusing purely on the engine performance, and everybody's got that ping to 100. Great 400i view right there.
Yeah, I love that. Is that one of the crimson skins? I've got a strong preference there for red skins. Yeah.
So I think that could be, if it's the ship that I'm recognizing earlier. I don't know who the pilot is, but I believe they're flying the Lunar New Year paint.
Yeah. CIG did a fantastic job with the color scheme. I appreciate that one for sure. We've seen some good skins out there, and of course, we've also seen the 890s.
Right.
With no skins right now.
Yeah, that's the sad way we have to present that. Right. Yeah, that's true. Seeing the paint from above. There we go. We've got a nice overhead view. Yeah, it could be. Really, really clean view. You can see these ships gracefully moving around the map here as they're all looking for faster lap times, and again trying to avoid the collisions because these ships have extremely long claim time. What's the claim time now on an 890 jump? Anybody remember? I remember. I think the 600 is a 45-minute without expedition.
That's incredibly long.
Yeah, it is over an hour. So if you were to crash your 890, even at the start of the race, even if you were to explode at the starting line, you would have to expedite the claim. But best way to do it, certainly have those backups ready. So for those of you with a fleet of 2 890s or more, feel free to enter next year's race.
It is worth getting the backups. I will. I'll tell you that much. We've seen in previous years, obviously having support vehicles available makes a huge difference.
Seeing some scrape paint off there on that on the rear of the entire left side of that 890 has got some close turning evidence.
Yep. And
look at here we go.
Turns through.
Whoa. Oh, more paint.
I'm not sure if that was desync, that we just saw the rotations of the vehicle being delayed slightly, or if we actually did scrape some paint on the inside there. But that was a 95-degree roll right there. They had some additional damage. So it's no mystery why we saw damage on this ship previously. That seems to be the flying style of this particular pilot. X-Raft suffering another mishap. The antenna grabbed the ship from the racing line, so colliding with one of the few obstacles you're gonna run out here with those antennas.
Yeah, really nice faraway view. We've pulled back a little bit here from Oleg. Great camera work here, pulling it back so you can see how that 400 is pulling across, going through that first checkpoint away from the starting line here, and now a long straightaway. Got about an 85-degree roll here. Now a really long straight in. There's the boost.
There's the
hitting
boost.
That boost.
hit those engines, and you see one of the support vehicles passing by.
Yep. Now it looks like, if this is, maybe we're looking at Data Machine here, but it looks like that was a solid boost all the way through the straightaway, right up until they hit that corner, and then they kind of diagonally just went through, maybe a little bit of tricord work there, but pulled all the way through and came out the other side on a nice safe angle. So that was a great turning and demonstration.
We have an update from Andy Horse, who is currently in last place with the 890 jump, having completed 2 laps before crashing. He says 1 minute till his 890 claim is complete. Will attempt to rejoin. So hopefully Andy Horse gets 2, maybe 3. We are 13 and a half minutes left, 46 minutes into this race. So a lot of laps being put together. Let's see who we have not seen updates from in a while. XREF again colliding with an antenna.
Right.
And Andy seeming to be the only ones that are out of the race at this point. We did have Stanislav with a DNF and Maiden Ariana refueling right now at about 13 minutes
fuel.
left.
An 890 fuel, okay. So refueling, so now Ultima Energy doing their thing to make sure that this energy gets pumped in. The hydrogen needs to go. We're getting element number 1 on the periodic table, moving around as fast as we can get it.
Yeah. And you watch that 400i cruising just below this
just
600i through that Hurston Dynamics building. A nice little keyhole to pass by.
And that goes back to what I was describing earlier, folks, is that the higher you can get is even fractionally less atmosphere that you're going to be battling with. That is a reality in the physics of Star Citizen. So the higher you are, the closer you get to the top of these archways. This is going to be where you can find the most speed as you turn, which is going to be vital. That could shave time off, which I do have to once again recognize, because we just saw lap time from Data Machine. They have now shaved their fastest lap time to 2:28. They've gone sub 2:29 now. So these lap times are getting faster and faster. Zorion sitting at 2:29 as a fastest lap time. This is skill you're getting, folks, that you're not going to find on another race.
Yeah, and the 1 hour endurance race, obviously, at 18 laps, you're going to see a couple of records set. Just a quick update as well. Black Rise, flying the NSS Jade Falcon in the 400i class, had a ship destroyed, and the claim timer is exceeding. Oh, just as we see the 400i crit the inside.
No.
We'll see who survives that one. And that debris. Oh, what a sad shot.
Get him salvage teams.
Yeah, so those 400Is, the claim timer is not going to be friendly with you here. 11 minutes, 20 seconds left in the race. And there we see the Phoenix. Loud Guns making his attempt there, of course, with Tint. Loud Guns in first class, just enjoying the ride, I'm assuming.
Right? Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, you got to remember, for all of these racers, for all of the skill that's on show today, for all of the stress and the endurance that they have to put forward, they're doing it in a luxury ship. I mean, let's not feel too bad for these folks. When they need to hydrate, they're doing it with champagne.
Storm Cleaver at checkpoint 3, ship destroyed. So Storm Cleaver in position number 4 at 12 laps. We'll see if Papa Quelsar, Le Papa Q, with his 400i, is going to be able to get in, likely getting a couple of laps in. We are just over 10 minutes left in the race, 49 minutes, 42 seconds in. And yeah, Quelsar's got a chance to go a little bit further on the leaderboard here, making up from the previous. Don't think Storm Cleaver is going to be able to make it back in time.
Do we have an update on the first refueling? We had Maiden Ariana who had dropped in for some refueling. Do we have an update on her location?
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on.
Seen one yet.
Last lap time was submitted at 44 minutes, so 6 minutes away.
I think
with the
that's
fastest lap time.
Fidico's rearview mirror there.
All right.
Chasing.
I saw the marker
Okay.
flying. They might be back.
Fantastic.
All right.
That's what we love to see.
Congratulations to the refueling crew. For
Let's do
the
an
quick
overview and have a
turn.
look.
There we go. Lots
they
of
are
movement.
up there
Yep.
in checkpoint 3, top left.
Fantastic. So
They're back in the
refueling quickly
field.
done. Let's do some quick updates. We want to thank our refueling pit crew from Altama Energy, which is Sigelion and Bling. We've also got La Fédération des Camelots, LFK Elvivan, and then Nova Pit Crew, Astrano Wolf, Astrano Wolf, and Incognito XYZ. Thank you very much for all that you do as a refueling pit crew. And then we also have our salvage crew, which sadly has been needed during this race. Delta Blue Aerospace, Checked Leak 1, Crystal Keys, Sergeant Griff, White Lightning Solutions with Hugs and Nugs, and then Nova Intergalactic with Ghosty and Nova Rift. Thank you very much for the salvage work you're doing to keep this track clear.
Yeah, keeping that debris out of the way with those SRVs. And, it's something to be watched for as these endurance races continue. We've been racing for 51 minutes, a lot of collisions out there, and of course debris can cause havoc on the track. You don't necessarily see where that's going to pop out at you, and it's something that could disable a ship very quickly. So
and we did see that at the beginning of the race when we saw that loss of thruster control. That wasn't a 400 that just dropped to the planet all of a sudden. It was spinning. It became an on-course obstacle. So we really appreciate the salvage work that's being done to try to keep these things clear. And even as we saw, unfortunately, when that 400i exploded, it takes a little while for it to fall to the ground.
Yeah. That death spiral and nearly taking out an 890 on its approach on the way back to that checkpoint. So,
desync can be hazardous. Obviously, we've still got our lunar paint. We've still got the 400 that is flying around in red, keeping things dangerous here. Really, look at that low. Oh, that's just drama. That is just showmanship right there, dipping to the ground and then pulling up for some fun.
Yeah, and with an endurance race like this, it's always fun to show off just a little bit. You see that 400i passing through, beautiful.
Look at beautiful. Thank you, Oleg, for that camera work. That was a great pass. We're gonna watch a quick 90-degree turn.
With 7 minutes left to race, we're seeing a lot of these vehicles on their last or second to last laps. So we'll keep an eye out for those. We have no real shakeups in the placement so far. Data Machine securing pretty handily at 20 laps for the 400i class. Tint and Loud Guns in the Phoenix class with 13 laps. And the 890 jump, Noble CIG, Noble 737 CIG with 12 laps completed in the 890 jump. So,
yeah. And I want to reiterate something. Echo is kissing up to the game devs. It's okay. But I do want to echo something that Echo said earlier when we were talking about the growth of ANZIA and the Crux Cup event itself. This is now over 300 participants that are participating as part of Crux Cup for across all of the classes, and I think that is a wonderful thing to see. But I do want to encourage people, if you're watching this today, if you are seeing the talent and skill that is on display with these big, beautiful ships, keep in mind there are multiple classes in the Crux Cup complete event. So you've got small racers, you've got combat ships, you've got giant reclaimers, you've got these big luxury craft. If you are interested in joining future Crux Cup events, make sure you check out anziaracing.com. Go submit your signups. Get yourself into this race. There's nothing stopping you. Go do that.
Yeah, and of course the Discord link there for the ANZIA Racing Discord I've just posted. You can also follow here on Twitch to keep updated on future events that are broadcast here. Thanks to the efforts of EchoBit, our live stream manager, and ANZIARacing.com.
Thank you all for being here. Appreciate all your support.
Now we're watching an 890 here make that turn prep. Look at the tightness of that turn. That was an amazing tricord work. Pulling ahead just a rapid 90. Now I'm noticing though on this particular 890, a couple of things. So this may be one of the respawn ships. We're looking at no left side damage on the port side of the ship. We're also looking at an 890 that is not flying with landing gear down. Is this going to affect their time? Could this be affecting their performance if they're not thinking about it? We don't know.
Yeah, and we see paired up the other 890 we've had with the side damage. Both of them, the landing gear is up. So at least from this perspective, coming in for the last 4 minutes of the race, and we'll see how that plans out.
I think that's a fantastic contrast that we just got to see as those two 890s were flying so close to each other. You saw one that had graced the presence of the buildings that it was flying through, while you had another that was a little more clean, a little more 890-esque. Champagne hadn't quite rattled as much as the other ships. So, that's the experience that you're going to get in a race like this. Is you're going to find different flying styles, you're going to find different damages, and unfortunately, you're also going to find some different crashes, and you might have to respawn.
Yeah, for sure. The respawn there, I know we had Andy Horse who was going to try and make a rejoin recently, so we'll see if they're able to get a lap completed. Of course, once the timer completes, all the additional racers that are on the track will finish up their runs in order to get the final times there. But so far, some impressive times being put down across all classes, not just the 400i for the speed, but again, that 600i group, Fetical, not to be left out there, fastest lap at about a 5 minutes 6 seconds, leading that 600i group with Semper Prime, the Irish Rover 600i at 5 minutes 9 seconds. So representing there.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind, everybody, we are talking about different classes. So as Einstein reminded us nearly a millennia ago, Einstein reminded us that everything is relative. So we're not comparing the 890s to the 400s. We're comparing the 400s to the 400s. And everybody is performing really exceptionally well today, especially our support crews. We learned relativity a millennia ago. It was about 1,000 years since Einstein first taught us that. And now we're watching these ships live it out in real time. That looks like a very interesting what are we watching?
Oh, aggressive angles there. I love it.
What?
And that's
okay.
We have Maiden Ariana. Ship fell out of the sky at checkpoint 4.
Oh no.
Wow.
No.
Perhaps that refueling wasn't as effective as we thought. Just
dropped into gravity. Ship fell out.
That's a real kick in the teeth there for the Yacht Club BC crew. Maiden Ariana, as she says, bingo fuel. So that's We're
going to be looking at that in the after action report, taking a look at how this was happening. And I do want to also recognize, you saw Red, everybody, if you're in chat, you saw Red give the exclamation merch command. If you are wondering where we get wonderful looking things like what I've got on my head and what Red's get on his chest, all you got to do is exclamation merch. You can check merch. It's a CH sound. It's not Russian. You got to go check that out. Just drop that into chat and you can check a link to the Anzio Racing merch store. You can get t-shirts, you can get hats, you can get mouse pads. There's a ton of great stuff for Anzio Racing and also for Crux Cup 2954.
And it goes to help support not only the Anzio Racing community, but some of the prizes and things that happen from these races. So,
yep. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a great way to represent the verse and demonstrate your either skill at flying or love for those with the skill. But it's a great way to do it.
We did just have an update. Andy Horse with the 890 completing his third lap now at 57 minutes. So logging one in, he will probably get a fourth lap. So
it's going to be close. I'm looking at an official lap time right now of 59 minutes, 25 seconds. We are in the final moments of this race, everybody.
Yeah, with just 30 seconds left to go. The placement's pretty well set. It's just who's going to be able to complete that final lap without incident, deliver that time in order to secure their spots.
And unless Data Machine pulls out something amazing in the next 12 seconds, looks like we're going to be looking at a fastest lap time of 2 minutes, 28 seconds, 0.802. Incredible work.
The white flag has been called. So Data Machine will be completing at lap 23. We'll get lap 24 with whatever impressive time there. And of course, completing lap 23 at 59 minutes, 43 seconds. So
unbelievable. We've really been able to see some incredible talent on display tonight. We've got, that was a great 890 turn. Very well used thrusters right there.
Yeah.
air quality of Hurston on fine display today.
Yeah, weather conditions, partly cloudy with a. If it smells like crap at Lorville, it's probably because it is.
Very, very true. Great view against once a overhead view from Raydell again. Taking a look at where everybody is flying. We get to see where people are staging and how this race is finishing out. Right there through a final finish line.
Beautiful,
a turn for some flair.
Turns.
That was great.
Yeah. And we have a ship destroyed Luigi. Oh, that's unfortunate. Luigi with the 400i. At 14 laps, suffering a ship destruction. So looks like at 14 laps, 59 minutes, 8 seconds as the final time there. Beautiful angles we've got here.
Great shot.
For this.
Yeah.
Well done, Oleg. Thank you for that camera work. I did notice, though, if you notice when this 890 was coming through the Hurston Dynamics Tower, it was very low to the ground. Earlier, we had that issue of the antenna clipping. This 890 was parallel with an antenna, so you got to be careful of those low to the ground hazards.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a number of hazards you can collide with the lower you go, and as you mentioned, the elevation you want it to keep up with. We do see Numinos, ship destroyed. Numinos, of course, currently in the third place position with his 400i. Now submitting a time at 1 hour and 56 seconds.
Another 400i crash there.
A lot of folks taking the express
and we gotta
route
finish
back
from
home.
That is official finish time of pending review 1 hour 2 minutes 13 seconds, finishing just a few seconds ahead of Zorion.
Yeah, Zorion coming in at about 13 seconds behind lap 20, so 4 laps and 13 seconds, and we're going to see these checkered flags come in. Neojet in the 890 jump coming in at third place.
Third place.
There.
Well done, Neo. Congratulations on a third place finish right there.
Yeah, and that was 10 laps completed with the 890 jump Valhalla.
Now there's there's a second place there for a 600. Semper Prime coming in second place there.
Oh, we watched the 890 as it collides
Good night.
into the ground.
Good night. And it's I'm so excited that it's
fuel. Team CIG.
No.
CIG that just ran out of fuel and nosedived into the piping, getting intimate with the design of the Lorville skyline.
So despite Andy Horse's significant claim time, Andy just finished officially fourth for the 890s.
Wonderful. All right. You see a couple of those 400i still going.
Unreal.
Quelsar finished fourth with a 400i.
Congratulations, Kelsar. Well done.
Making their way out to collect some debris.
Great work by support teams here running out to go pick things up. Make sure that we're keeping Lorville
fifth with the 400i.
Yeah, I was going to say making sure that Lorville is staying clean, but that is clearly the wrong thing to say. Making sure that Anzia is not contributing to the trash that is Lorville.
Yeah. All right.
Flying through another checkpoint here. Really impressive show by these racers.
Numinos, who was third place, checked in at 1 hour 56 seconds. Was that one of the ship events we'd had? Yeah, so Numinos ship has been destroyed. Just looking at the rest of that leaderboard. So, coming in first place, Data Machine, completing 24 laps in the 400i with a fastest lap time of 2 minutes 28.802. We have Zorion with a 400i at 20 laps completed, fastest lap of 2 minutes 29.146. Numinos coming in third, 19 laps completed. Quelsar, fourth place, 18 laps completed. Numinos with 2 minutes 49 seconds fastest time, and Quelsar with 2 minutes 36 fastest lap time.
And it was about 1 minute ago, just as you had started reading off some times, we had our Phoenix that came across the finish line as well.
Wonderful. EMS
Hey, good job,
inbound.
Loud Guns and Tim.
Still got some beautiful camera work here of a 400 flying right through the tower. Again, lower to the ground than I would expect. I think we're getting some showmanship here.
Maybe just a little. So, a lot of great support crew. Let's not forget to give some quick shout outs again for EchoBit, our live stream manager, myself, Red Monster SC, and Papa Juggernaut, my co-commentator. A little virtual high fives over here. Ravnak and Noise Maze. Ravnak, our Discord moderator, and Noise Maze, the race director who you've been seeing these updates on the top of the screen for. Prof Decoy, race timer number 2. Commander Calabar, race timer number 1. Prof Decoy also providing some views for us commentators at the race checkpoint there. Oleg Lime for the fantastic views here throughout the race. Camera operator 1. We have Radel, Damon Hart, and Fedicol also providing views with each of those camera operators providing fantastic up close and personal perspectives of the race that we wouldn't be able to get normally. We also have checkpoint officers Onidrem and Theriel with the safety ship INDF. The QC officer is Commander Tenna. The rejoin officer is Zilius, and the event press Mr. Right Sky and Kill a Star.
Yeah, and I want to give a very special shout out to the partners of Anzio Racing for this specific event. The Luxury GP class is brought to you by Yacht Club Bar Citizen. Thank you very much, Yacht Club. We appreciate it. We could not do this without you. You provide the environment, you provide the capabilities for all of this to occur. So thank you very much. For those who don't know, if you haven't seen Yacht Club Bar Citizen, you can check them out every single Wednesday live on Twitch. They go live. They just changed their time recently, and I believe it's now, I want to say 7 Pacific. Maybe it's 6. Somebody correct me in chat. But they put on a great show. They've got some amazing guests, and the hosts are always passionate and dedicated to Star Citizens. Their show every single Wednesday live on Twitch.
Yeah, and of course, Fedicol running out of fuel just after that final checkpoint. One of our camera operators, and
we're going to work on that.
Escape the busted 600i that is sideways on the ground and quite entertaining. So EchoBit, what are your thoughts? A successful race day?
A very successful race day, and I'd just like to give a quick shout out to the winners. So let me put their results up on screen. So congratulations to Data Machine, who is the winner of the 400i racing class. You are the fastest 400 luxury pilot. And then next up we got the Phoenix class. Crux Retreat, piloted by Tint, captained by Loud Guns from Frontier Consolidated at 17 laps. Congratulations. I know you're the only ones out there, but that means you're just first place in all of our hearts. So,
and I do want to point out, Echo, also for those of you who are picking up the Phoenix Emerald during the Fortuna event going on right now, this could be your class next year. So make sure you grab those emeralds and you join this race.
Yep, if you enjoyed this, give us a lot of feedback, and we might do this again. If you like the LuxuryGP, could see this again next year. Congratulations to CIG. Even though they ran out of fuel on the last lap, they had completed more laps before the race cried out, and they come in first place here. So, Zabin, Nobel's 890J, congratulations on your win today. Piloted by Gabo, top tier racer. First place on Graph Racing right now, so well done. And congratulations to all other 890J racers. Maiden, Ariana, it was good to see you. Nia, Jet, Andy Horse, thank you so much for bringing your 890s out here today.
Big thanks to everybody who was hanging out. Wait, there's a 600i. I was going to say, we're waiting on it.
We've got Fedical from Turbo Corporation, these two neck and neck the whole way, both 11 laps completed. So well done Fedical and Semper for putting in such an amazing race today and show for us at the 600i class. But Fedical, you are the fastest 600i racer, so congratulations for that.
All right. What
There we go.
fantastic hour-long endurance race. We got to see those 890 jumps just pack in right near the end. A couple of them went bingo fuel. Maiden Ariana just slightly before time. And then, of course, the Team CIG just after. So some exciting events there. And, of course, some collisions, some great views of, I think some of the explosions both Papa Juggernaut and I were both looking forward to.
That's right. And we talked about this at the beginning of the race. We knew that there was going to be fuel decisions that had to be made, and will that impact the race? And it turns out that it did for a couple of people. We did have Maiden Ariana who jumped in chat with the, very sadly to say, go fuel marker. We saw some things that changed because of decisions that were made by pilots, because of the, just realities of what happens in the game. So very, very great stuff to see. People are going to be making strategic decisions moving forward on the next races. What do we do? What do we not do? Because don't forget, everybody, these races are endurance races around the verse. So you've got to make long-term decisions, and that's going to change how you may end up in the short term when it comes to the finish line.
And don't forget, we have in about 45 minutes, we're starting up with the delivery GP. They're going to be doing the Super Dragon Tofu Run track here, also in Lorville. I will be commentating with Abdi Johan as we take on the delivery GP class.
You want to tell us a little bit about Delivery GP? What kind of ships are we looking forward to? Where are we racing? What is that going to look like for all of our viewers?
So as far as the official rules, I don't have that document up. I should have.
We don't
I'm
need
happy
rules.
to talk about it. So
There
it's
we
going to
go.
be a
Yeah.
ship rally. It's the first format of its kind. We've done endurance racing for the longest time. Ship rally, we're lining up teams of racers. Some of the fastest ships in the game, like the Mariah Fury Alexes, the Super Hornets, and the C8X, which is basically our A86 of Star Citizen. They will be going head to head in teams of two, being fired down the Super Dragon Tayford run. So look forward to that in about 30 minutes. Yeah, it's if this event succeeds, we'd like to do it again. Ship rally is a really unique concept because we can theoretically take an unlimited amount of races and send races down the course every 2 minutes. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Hope to see you there.
Yeah. Exciting times and an exciting track as well.
Yeah, it's going to be some really great optics. That it's going to be, again, very different from what we're seeing today, this morning that we saw with the Luxury GP class. So that's one of the best parts of Anzia Racing. If you guys are not familiar with this org, you've got to check out all the things that they do. You can go to their website. You can also join the Discord. Both links were dropped in chat. Go check out Anzia and all of the different events that they put on. They are constantly trying to innovate and really refine what is going on with the world of Star Citizen Racing. So huge props to the world of Anzia Racing, especially EchoBit and all the staff that is working on that team. You guys have done an amazing job, and today's event is just another example of that.
And if you've enjoyed yourselves and had a good time, please give Papa Juggernaut and Red Monster SC a follow. Their names are directly below the window of this chat. You just hover over them, give them a follow. Share some love for Red and Papa J. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Everybody stick around. Like Echo said, we're going to be in about 30 minutes. There's going to be the Delivery GP class. And then let's also talk about upcoming events. So the next 2 weekends are also going to be full of events. Next Saturday for me, could be Sunday for some of you over in Oceania and Asia. But next Saturday, we are going to be doing the Open GP and Pro GP qualifiers. So you're going to check that out right here again on Anzia Racing live on Twitch. And then the following weekend, you're going to be getting the championships on March 30th. That's going to be Pro and Open GP classes. So make sure you check those out. You are going to see some of the fastest, most elaborate racing and I believe all right here on the Gold Dust track.
Yep, more endurance racing coming with the Open GP and Pro GP. Look forward to that next weekend. The qualifiers start then, and following that, based on how they do, they'll be reorganised and we will see the fastest at the front of the pack in the championship race. And then we will crown some of the fastest racers in the game.
I am really looking forward to what is going to be both of those races. You've got the qualifiers next week. You've got the championships on the following on March 30th. But I'm going to be commentating both of those races. And for some of them, I'm going to be joined by fellow Star Citizen streamer Hinken SC. And then for others, it is going to be the one and only Croncy. So you're going to see some fantastic commentating, and then I'm also there. So make sure to check out these events. Again, this is all brought to you by Anzia Racing, and a really fantastic racing org here in Star Citizen World.
Yeah, and on behalf of EchoBit here, our live stream manager, Anzia Racing director, we have Papa Juggernaut, my co-commentator. Thank you very much, and I am Red Monster SC. On behalf of the entire Anzia Racing family, I want to say thank you guys for being here, enjoying the day with us as we took on the LuxuryGP Crux Cup 2954. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you for all the support. We love you very much, and we'll see you at the Delivery GP.
Come and set me free. Come and set me free. Give me what I need. Come and set me free. Give me what I need. Come and set me free.